you've been active in the property market recently, you may or may not have heard some of this rhetoric around off-market opportunities and how they're the holy grail of property investing, to the point where you're guaranteed to make a lot of money buying these properties off-market. Now, unfortunately, that's just not how it works. So let's firstly determine what is an off-market property. And simply, it is a property that nobody else has had the ability to be able to see, and only they know that the property was for sale, and so essentially they get first bite at the cherry, therefore potentially negotiating a really, really good price. Now, the problem is, once again, those properties just don't exist. And let's dig a little deeper and find out why. And I think the first reason is people have this non-understanding of the difference between pre-market and off-market. So what's pre-market? Pre-market is when a property is going to be listed for sale, and that might be via an auction, it might be via one of the real estate platforms. But essentially it's in the baking stage. So the contracts are being drawn up, the marketing photos are being done, but because of a really good relationship with potentially a really good real estate agent, they've given you the opportunity to view the property and even potentially start negotiating it before the rest of the market gets the chance to do so. Off market, once again, it was never going to be for sale. There was never any marketing, there was never any contracts being drawn up. In fact, the owner of the property had no intentions to sell, but some way I or you as the buyer have convinced them to sell their property. And there might be a really good reason too. You've offered them a great deal of money. It might have been just fantastic timing. But my point is, it was never going to be listed for sale, as opposed to pre-market where it was always going to be listed for sale. It was just in the initial baking period. So the problem I have is that there is a lot of people within the community, within the industry, that tend to use this marketing soundbite grab as an off-market opportunity to create the hysteria, or perhaps even showboat their abilities as though it's something special and that it is the holy grail of investing or property purchasing, because nobody else has the chance to see it and it's going to potentially be under market value, and it just simply isn't true. So if you do read this commentary, if you do happen to be approached by people within the industry that promise you off-market opportunities, think very carefully and think long, because 9 times out of 10 they don't exist. And I can really back that up because I've been doing this now for some 18 years, purchased over $1 billion worth of property for our clients, and I can honestly say that in all this time period, I might have actually secured 12 off-market opportunities, true off-market opportunities. And that might have been because we owned the property next door and it was a zoning play, and we door knocked next door or behind, and we convinced them ethically to sell so that we could then control 2 blocks of land, which then suited our development play for the future. But it certainly isn't this thing where we just door knocked or letter dropped a whole street to try our hand, if you will, at getting someone to sell their property, because it doesn't work that way. And ask yourself this: why would a real estate agent come to you with an off-market opportunity? Because at the end of the day, the real estate agent needs, he wants or she wants, as much exposure as they can get. And how do they get that? Because they advertise it on the realestate.coms. They have their signboards out the front of the property because they need their brand exposure. And if they're just bypassing the whole of the market to come to you, they don't get the recognition, they don't get the brand awareness. And if I'm a seller, I want the world to know about my property for sale. I want the competition to start being active, not just a single buyer where there's no competition and they dictate the price. As a seller, I want to dictate the price. So once again, be careful, understand the rhetoric, and in my opinion, 99.9% of the time, off-market properties don't exist.
Thanks so much for watching. For more great insights, head over to our website, rightpropertygroup.com.au. You can also tune into our podcast, Investing Insights, or follow us on all socials. We look forward to seeing you again soon.